The witch at the door!
When I was born, my family was filled with joy. But with that joy came deep-rooted fears, especially for my mother. You see, we are Catholic, and where I come from in Mexico City, there's a belief that newborns are especially vulnerable until they're baptized. My mom, always cautious, believed this with all her heart. According to the church, a baby is born with sin until they're baptized, and where we lived, there were stories, old, dark tales about witches, brujas, that prey on newborns, seeking their innocence to extend their own lives. They don't just come for the baby, though, they feed off the life force, making themselves look younger, stronger. The first night I was brought home, my mom took every precaution she could think of. She placed an upside-down hat, a pair of cross scissors, and salt at every window, every door. It said that these things keep witches away. For days, she watched over me, too afraid to sleep, waiting for my baptism day to come so that I could be protected once and for all. But then came the part that still makes my skin crawl to this day. One afternoon, while I was sound asleep in my crib, there was a knock at the door. My mom, ever protective, hesitated for a moment before opening it. On the other side stood an older woman, someone my mom didn't recognize. She claimed to be our neighbor and said she had heard about the new baby in the house. She smiled, but my mom, already on edge from her paranoia, felt something wasn't quite right. The woman asked if she could meet me, the baby, and my mom, being polite but firm, said,
"My baby girl is sleeping right now. I don't want to wake her, but you can come inside and see her."
She wasn't letting this stranger get too close. As soon as my mom extended the invitation for the woman to step inside, the woman's smile faded, and her eyes seemed to darken. She pushed again, asking to bring the baby out instead. But my mom repeated,
"She's sleeping. If you want, you can come inside."
That's when the woman's mood shifted completely. She grew tense, almost angry, and abruptly said,
"Maybe I'll come by another time. I wouldn't want to disturb her."
She turned and walked away, her figure disappearing down the street. My mom stood there, watching her go. But the moment she closed the door, chills ran down her spine. Her whole body erupted in goosebumps. Why did she feel such an intense reaction? Well, in our culture, witches can disguise themselves as anyone, a friendly face, a kind neighbor, but they can't enter a home that's been protected. The salt, the cross scissors, the upside-down hat, all of these things were barriers, keeping them out. The fact that the woman refused to cross the threshold sent alarm bells ringing in my mom's head. That wasn't the end of it though. Every night before I was baptized, a strange sight appeared. A ball of fire would float just above our house, circling it silently, never landing, never leaving. My parents would watch it from the window, unable to explain it. It never entered the house, though, the protections held. My mom became convinced that the fireball was a sign of the bruja, still trying to get to me, still waiting for a moment of weakness. Days passed, and finally, I was baptized. After that, the fireball stopped appearing. The house grew quiet, and the strange woman never returned. My mom, filled with relief, took down the scissors, the salt, and the upside-down hat. But she never stopped wondering, never fully believed it was a coincidence. So, was it just paranoia? Or was I truly visited by a witch that day? To this day, we don't know. But I'll tell you this, sometimes, I still feel the same chill when I tell the story of the witch at the door.